It's double game week 34, it's triple Crystal Palace, and it's time to free hit. Welcome to the Gianni YouTube show. Hope you guys are well. If you've still got your free hit, this feels like the obvious week. There are 7 teams doubling, including Arsenal, including Liverpool, and there are some huge points to be had. When we look at the next 5 weeks, yes, there's gains to be made every week, of course there is, but 3 of those weeks are doubles, none more appetizing than game week 34. If you've got your chips, now's the time to think about using them. Even your bench boost and wildcard, definitely playable this week. So let's have a look at my optimal draft for game week 34. And I mentioned Crystal Palace there. They've got West Ham and they've got Newcastle both at home. 2 really good fixtures, I think. They're fresh off the back of a win at Anfield. Now, Crystal Palace are going to be seriously good next season. Crystal Palace are going to be very useful, I think. And I think what we're going to see at the end of this season is a really good run that stands them in good stead for next year. So look, I've got Dean Henderson in goal. What a game he had. He prevented, I think, 3xG Liverpool clocked at Anfield. But I like the fixtures for Henderson. Shall we move back from back to front? At the back, is that okay? I've got Pickford on the bench. I think Pickford's a good call too. So look, the other 2 goalkeepers, but let's get the more exciting positions up and running. We'll start with the defence. Gabriel is in there. Goal threat with Gabriel, sure. Wolves away, Chelsea at home isn't easy. And off the back of a trip to Munich, there is a reason why I am not going double Arsenal defence. I know it's paid dividends this season so far. It's been amazing, double Arsenal defence. But Gabriel alone is enough for me this week. Ait-Nouri is in there. We don't know if he'll be fit. I suspect he will be. He's there for attacking returns. Arsenal at home, Bournemouth at home. He gallops forward and he should be playing in that wide left position. If not, I've got Everton defenders on the bench, Mykolenko and Tarkowski. And Sean Dyche's numbers have actually been really good statistically in defence. Typical Sean Dyche team, Everton are hard to break down. And sure, not the easiest of double game weeks, Forest and Liverpool, but I don't mind Everton for a clean sheet. So I've got Pickford, Mykolenko and Tarkowski all on the bench. But in the 11, this is where it gets exciting. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Do we think he's good for 2 starts? Now, that is very much the $1 million question for me. And I'm not absolutely convinced. So I'm not sure 100% if I would go with this. I think a lot would come down to what we see on Friday press conference from Pep, if we get one, what he says before the game. The pre-match for Trent could be massive in terms of news and intel. So you've seen I've gone for 1 Arsenal defender, 1 Liverpool defender. You may expect I'm going big on those 2 teams in attack. Double Arsenal attack, double Liverpool attack. Now, how do we rank them? I think Salah and Saka we don't need to really discuss. They're going to be in the vast majority of teams. The best FPL asset in both teams. Salah, Saka. But at Arsenal, do we look at Havertz or Odegaard? For me, it's Havertz. I think Havertz didn't play number 9 against Aston Villa, and look what happened. He actually had a good game in midfield, I thought, Kai Havertz. But Gabriel Jesus down the middle didn't look great. And Havertz, number 9, has been scoring goals. And I think Arteta will resort to type for the trip to Molineux, and we'll see Havertz playing number 9 again. So I rank Havertz just slightly ahead, I think, of Odegaard for that short-term punt. Liverpool is slightly trickier. Because whilst we need to talk about Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota, we probably have to talk about Darwin in the same sentence because we can only have one of those 3 if we've got a Trent and a Salah. And at the moment, I think I rank Jota number 1, and I'm so torn on this, guys. Let me know in the comments who you prefer. And guys, thank you for hitting those buttons today. Likes and subscribes are really, really welcome. I think I like Jota the best because I'm building a narrative in my head that Liverpool have clocked unbelievable XG in the last couple of weeks and they haven't been scoring goals. What has been missing in Liverpool's game, and look, Salah's been guilty of this, Luis Diaz has been guilty of this, and Darwin's been massively guilty of this, finishing. It's been poor, and that's why Liverpool have been losing games. We saw them lose to Atalanta, poor finishing. We saw them lose to Palace, 3xG and no goal. Against Man United, how many shots did they have? 20 odd? It was poor in terms of output. Diogo Jota, for me, is the best finisher in, I think, at the club. Might be unfair on Salah, who's having an off patch, but Jota is some finisher. Jota the slotter. And now he's back fit. We've had a couple of cameos off the bench. I think he could get 2 starts. Now, if I'm uncertain about 2 starts, or I'm not confident on 2 starts, I think Luis Diaz or Darwin are great options. I think I may be tempted on Darwin over Diaz. but again, I think minutes are going to be important to kind of try and judge that, and we'll know closer to the deadline what sort of minutes these guys are going to be getting. We hope we'll know. That's where I'm at. Jota makes it in. Proper differential as well, isn't he? And then up front, Solanke keeps scoring goals, doesn't he? Should have had a penalty at the end, Bournemouth against Man United as well. If they have that penalty, Solanke's on big scores. Mateta was super impressive. And by the way, I didn't speak about Eze. Mateta and Eze both in. Now, let's just go to Eze, because it could be Eze, it could be Elise. They're both back now starting. I just wonder, with Elise returning back, getting his first start against Liverpool, is he going to be able to start West Ham and Newcastle? That'd be like 3 games in the space of 8-9 days. And I just wonder if he'll get maybe a 90 and a 60, or even a 60 and a 60. I don't know. Or even a 90 and a 30. Eze could get 180 minutes in both games. So I'm going just purely X-Mins because there's very little to split them. Eze was the most advanced of the 2 at the weekend. Eze, I hope, will be on penalties. We have seen Elise score a penalty this season, and Eze was on the pitch, but he'd just come on as a sub. I think Eze will be on pens. So Eze, for me, just about splits it. And then Mateta, wow. Against Liverpool, keep mentioning XG, don't I? Over 1 XG just from Mateta alone. He was in my actual team. I was robbed. He should have scored. What a clearance by Robertson. So look, Mateta with 2 homes, I like. West Ham are gettable. Get-atable. So are Newcastle. Still, I think, especially on the road. So I like that Mateta pick. So look, there's triple Crystal Palace in here. There's triple Liverpool. There's triple Arsenal. There's a Wolves player and a Bournemouth player. That's in my 11. And on the bench, another Wolves player in Cunha. I just think you're back in the form there. I think he'll be ready for 2 sets of 90 by the weekend, by Arsenal, and then Bournemouth. That's the game you want the Wolves players for, that Bournemouth at home. And then triple Everton on the bench. So it really is going all out with double game weekers. Do you need to consider City players on a free hit? I think, yeah, of course, consider Haaland, consider Foden. But I don't think I'd replace any of those front 5 with a Haaland. You could argue Mateta for Haaland, but I don't think so. I think you just go for the X-Mins and you chase the ceiling. City against Brighton isn't the easiest of games, but you expect them to win. And in terms of captaincy, again, like Salah's the safe option, but maybe if you want to go differential, you do look elsewhere at Liverpool and Arsenal attacks. You go, could I go Jota? Could I go Havertz? Or if you're going to go for a Crystal Palace player because you're chasing fixtures and you're chasing a bit of form, then Eze for me would be the standout Palace player. But that's proper differential. I think Salah would be likely my captain. So look, the differential draft is fun. The differential draft has a little bit, a smidgen, if you like, of template, but it doesn't have what you might have expected you to have a couple of weeks ago. Double Arsenal defence. You would have expected Darwin would be an absolute shoo-in. You maybe wouldn't be looking at more than 1 Crystal Palace. Now we're looking at 3. So the form guide tells us a lot. I think probably you'd have definitely have had Haaland, actually. If Haaland had been free scoring the last month, he'd been every free hit draft. Now look, maybe Haaland will be in your team. But I think there's a strong argument not to go there. And I just wonder if differentials like Jota and Trent, if we think they're good for at least 140, 150 minutes, 2 starts ideally, then there's big upside potential for both Trent and Jota. It's Fulham away, it's Everton away. I could see goals in both those games for Liverpool. They should be like a wounded animal, Liverpool, off the back of their defeat to Palace. Now, I feel like the title is probably out of bounds, but somewhere they'll be going, we can win every game, and then who knows? The narrative is built. The narrative is definitely built for Klopp and his final season. You just wouldn't put it past them. You wouldn't write them off completely just yet. So it's a really interesting one. Hope you like my free hit template. Let me know in the comments if you do. By the way, guys, have you checked out Fantasy Football Scout? If not, then do check out the members area where I've been digging for some great data this morning. As always, great articles, brilliant go-to guide on Fantasy Football Scout. If you want to see my team selection and what I'm doing with my team, I'm going to make 3 transfers to try and get close to this team, I think, in my actual team. So tune in later in the week to see what I do with my transfers and where I go with the armband. Thanks, guys. Take care. I appreciate those subscribes, and I'll see you next time.